everyone. Happy April. This month we are focused, actually I should probably leave that on, maybe that's better lighting. This month we are focusing on self-worth. And I wanted to focus on self-worth because continuously the theme that comes up is fear. And some of us feel really stuck. And a lot of that is our own doing. A lot of that is our own ego telling us that we're stuck. And it's also part of trying to be something and trying so hard, where what if we just take out the trying and we just focus on being? And that's where we get to the art of slowing down. And slowing down gives us the opportunity to see not only with the eyes, but with the soul and the spirit. And from there, a whole world opens up. And using our sight not only to look outwards, but to also look inwards is rather comforting and scary at the same time, because looking in at ourselves is almost as if we're looking at our strengths and our weaknesses. And sometimes our weaknesses are not as hearty to swallow. So that's what makes our self-worth lacking. That's what lacks our luster. That's what brings us down. And when we're down on the inside, it most certainly shows up on the outside. So we're going to be focusing on self-worth. And I'll show you where self-worth comes from in the yogic sense, and in the chakra sense is, let's say this is you sitting in like a yoga pose. Okay. We'll give you a nice smile there. You don't need hair. You do need ears, because I want you to listen. Your solar plexus area and the solar plexus chakra is called the Manipura, and it's located right at the navel, right here, right here. I have pants on. So this is where your energy center for self-worth, for confidence and self-esteem comes from. And when you have that gut feeling of like, oh, that doesn't feel really good, that's where your self-worth lives. That's where that irky, weird butterfly feeling comes from. It's also that part of you that lights your inner flame. And when our inner flame is lit, our personality, our mood is shining, we are glowing, no one can get in our way, nothing can stop us. But when it's not, it's almost as if we're at a campfire and the fire is going out and you don't have any more wood left, and you're like, oh, and it's just getting darker and darker and darker, right? In that area, right? So our self-worth and self-esteem is our internal belief systems. And they are built by many, many different things: society, religious, politics, family, and all of the many years that we've lived on this earth, our experiences, our ups, our downs, our triumphs, our trials, our tribulations, our tragedies, the things that we've lost, the things that we think we're losing, right? Some of us have this fear that we're going to lose everything that we're going to get just because we lost something before. So this internal belief system, the self-worth area in the belly, in the navel, is something to really consider. So the internal flame in the belly is that fire. We want it to keep lit. Knowing yourself, knowing your worth, knowing who you are, knowing that you can be anyone you wish to be is the art of loving yourself. It's self-love. It's when you know who you are, your self-worth shows on the outside. You love yourself. People can see that. People are attracted to that. And therefore you can connect with others. And when your self-worth is a little lacking, you might feel a little down, sad, not worthy. You might have your measuring stick out. You might be comparing yourself to others. So I ask that you practice our surrendering tree by placing your heels and your the flat part of your foot and feet on the floor, sitting into your sits bones, lifting the chest, lifting and lengthening the spine, opening the collarbone and the shoulders, and raising your branches to the sky. Now you can have short branches if you want your elbows to stay at the hips, or if you're having a really bad day, you can raise your arms, raise the chin, open the palms, reach the fingers, and surrender. Surrendering and that surrendering tree are just a visualization. They're a fun way to bring in adult play to the daunting feeling of personal and professional development work, because it's very hard to look at the parts of ourselves that are broken, right? It's very hard to have a puzzle where there are a few pieces missing and we can't find them. And you want that puzzle to be finished, but yet you can't find those pieces and it feels a little off, right? So in this area, this is where our strength and our willpower lives. So if you're lacking in that area, practice your surrendering tree. Even if you have to go somewhere else to do it, if you don't want to do it in public, practice your surrendering tree, because that'll build your self-worth and that willpower, that grit, right? That grit, like you want to get at something, you want something, you go after it, from this part in the belly, like engage the core and pat the belly, like I can do this, I got this. And when it's off, when our self-worth is off, that's when like the butterflies come in. That's when like the fear subsides. You're like, oh, I can't, this fear of owning our power, the fear of owning who we are comes in and says, don't you do that. Now you stay there, you stay in the background, right? So, and then the excess of that would be you trying to overpower and become a bulldozer to someone else because you feel like you have too much power, right? That's on the opposite end of the spectrum. So you want to keep those butterflies in check. You want to recognize your strengths, recognize the weaknesses inside of you, and hey, be okay with that. Become your vulnerability scale. Oh, peachy. Become your vulnerability scale where you're holding strength and weakness, and you're going to be okay with the tipping, right? When you're not okay with the tipping, that's when the victim mentality comes in. That's when the woe is me. That's where you're powerless and you're a whiner and you're a complainer. You're a cat licking your wounds, looking for people to pay attention to you because you're powerless. That doesn't look good on you. That attitude, that mood, that look doesn't look good out of you. It means that you're out of touch with who you are. And when you're out of touch with who you are, people don't want to be surrounded by that. When you're blaming others, people don't want to be surrounded by that. When you make someone out to be, or you pressure someone into doing what you see them are, or how you see them as, that's bullshit. Let people be who they are and you be who you are, right? The excess and the opposite of being powerless is being a bulldozer. Telling people, I see you this way, so this is how you have to be. Fuck you, right? So this is where we begin to get comfortable with this inner mind chatter, not only in the mind, but in the body. Like, wait a minute, why are you trying to be so controlling? Why are you so powerless? Why don't you just stand in your worth? Use your willpower. Use your perseverance. Use your grit. Powerless is a lack of will. You want to light that fire. You want to bring up that vitality, right? The vitality is like agelessness. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter who you are, where you live, what you look like, any of that is. You want to be vitality. You want to be life living. Life is for the living. So use your self-worth this month. God, it's a great foundation for love. When you have self-worth, people want to love you, right? People want to be attracted to you. It's like that gravitational pull. It's like you build all of these successful relationships because you're in balance. When you build this area of the solar plexus, which emits this beautiful yellow light, you have security. You have a sense of purpose. And you enjoy the experiences in your life and the nowness and the presence, and you're not rushing to get wherever you need to be. You see, because the imbalance, that excessive control or that complete helplessness is about not following through. You were here and placed on this earth for a purpose. if you can be in service with yourself and find that inner fire, go find a few logs. Keep that fire lit. And it's okay if it goes down once in a while. You know, I chose self-worth for April because this is our seasons are changing and the weather is getting nicer. And we want to really find who we are as we look to nature as our teacher. And we can see that there are beautiful things around us. But just as we can see beautiful flowers, can we look at ourselves as beautiful? And the answer is you can. The answer doesn't have to be fear. The answer doesn't have to be powerlessness. The answer doesn't have to be I don't know. It doesn't have to be I don't care or I can't. The answer is find a few logs, light this fire, like right, ooh, and take a whiff of that scent, right? So that it's like, yay, my fire is lit. And then this is like your magnet, like this is like your electric magnetic energy that bring people to you, the right people to you when your self-worth is lit. Because when it's not lit, that's when you have like a frown. And everything on the inside shows up on the outside. Everything on the outside is a reflection of what's going on the inside. So I ask you this month to come prepared to share at our self-worth empowerment session with where you're at. Come with your woes. Come with your wounds that you're licking, because we're here for each other. Share in the group some of your wins and some of your losses so that we can come together and build this community, this tribe around lifting each other up and like coming around this community fire within our individual bellies of willpower and grit and our collective as well. So I hope that you enjoyed this talk. This is going to be a powerful month of looking at the insides of us and seeing what we can do to deliver a more better us together.